Good day to you all. My name is Mr. Adebola Emmanuel Bolan. In the last class, we were able to look at what we mean by the word variation. And it has been established that variation is a relationship between two quantities. Just like you can have X varies directly with Y. That is, the higher the X, the higher the Y. As X increases, Y also increases. And as X decreases, Y also decreases. And we have also looked at in the last class the different type of variation that we can have. We have direct variation, inverse variation, joint variation, and partial variation. But for today, we are going to be looking at inverse variation. If a laborer can clear a piece of land in 6 hours, how long will it take either 2 men or 5 men to clear the land at the same rate? Now, from the statement, we realize that the greater the number of people, the less time it takes to clear the land. And we can see that using this illustration, that is by saying, so we have it that the greater the number of people, the less time it will take to do what? To clear the land. So we can have it that T is proportional to 1 over n. And what does this mean? T is equal to time and n is equal to number of laborers. So what we are saying is the greater the number of laborers, the lesser the time it will take to clear the land. And the lesser the number of laborers, the greater will be the time to clear the land. So we are going to look at one example to illustrate inverse variation. So question 1. If V varies inversely as W, and V is equal to 120 when W is equal to 6. Find V when W is equal to 9. Now, the solution to this is very straightforward. If V varies inversely as W, how are you going to do that? That will be V varies inversely as W, that is 1 over W. So V will be equal to 1 over W. So if V is equal to 1 over W and we substitute what we are given, V is given to be 120. So that means 120 will be equal to, W is given to be 6, 1 over 6. 1 over 6 is what we have at the right hand side, RHS, and 120 is what we have at the left hand side. And you can see from here that what we have at the left hand side is not equal to what we have at the right hand side, which shows that left hand side is not equal to right hand side, which means that the equation is not true. So in order to make the left hand side to be equal to the right hand side, we have to multiply the right hand side by a constant K that we call constant proportionality constant. proportionality constant so that the right hand side can be equal to the left hand side. So if we continue, that means V will be equal to 1 over W. V will be equal to K multiplied by 1 over W. And since V is given to be 120, 120 will be K multiplied by 1 over 6. So 120 will be equal to K over 6. So the next thing we need to do now is to cross multiply so as to look for the value of K. So K will be 120 multiplied by 6, and we are going to have 720. 720. So which means the constant that we are looking for, the unknown, is 720, which means we have to multiply the right hand side by 720 so that the equation will be true. So if you look at it again, V is equal to K multiplied by 1 over W. So 120 is equal to 720 multiplied by 1 over 6. So how many 6 can you see here? 1. How many 6 can you see in 720? 120. So we can see that 120 is equal to 120, which shows the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So the reason why we usually introduce a constant of proportionality is to make the left hand side to be equal to the right hand side. At the end of the day, we can get our constant of proportionality to be equal to 720.